This is 9 News with Eliza Rugg.
Good afternoon. Families across Melbourne's Bayside suburbs have been left terrified after a gang of youths went on a costly crime spree, targeting their homes while they slept. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris with this exclusive report.
At least 3 families have been terrorised by a group of teens committing aggravated burglaries here in Bayside overnight. 3 masked youths were seen scouring this Hampton home at 4:30 this morning while a family of 4 slept inside.
It's like a horror movie, really. Families at home, mum, dad, little sister.
Realising they couldn't get into the house, they tried another home down the road.
Not great, to be honest. They were pretty brazen. We yelled at them, they didn't seem to care.
The gang broke in through an unlocked cat flap, stealing 2 luxury vehicles.
They're just in it for fun and getting away with it, and, there's no ramifications.
2 young children were asleep at the time.
The kids are really scared. We're not sure how they're going to sort of cope with that.
Their father saw the offenders taking off and yelled at them, but they managed to escape.
It's one of the worst crimes that can occur to a family. To know that someone's in your home when you've got young kids, Labor needs to stop ignoring these serious crimes.
Detectives are also investigating whether the same group is responsible for another aggravated burglary in Sandringham an hour earlier, where they got in through an unlocked door, making off with 2 vehicles. To help detectives combat these break-ins, residents are being urged to make sure all entry points to their home are locked.
A police presence is expected on Swanston Street ahead of a City Council meeting to debate a motion calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Live to Mimi Becker, who's at Town Hall. Mimi, police are expecting protesters outside.
They are, Eliza. It's expected around 200 pro-Palestinian supporters will be here outside the city of Melbourne as they do vote on that motion to pass a ceasefire and ask for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. It will be similar to the protests that we have been seeing across Melbourne on the weekends, but this is expected to really heat up around 5:30 as everyone finishes work and peak hour begins. So police will have that extra police presence here on Swanston Street to help keep things at bay. As for leaders from the Jewish community, they will also attend this meeting, and they say there's no reason for the City of Melbourne to get involved in foreign affairs and that it won't do anything to help the conflict in the Middle East. But police have just arrived here at the City of Melbourne offices, and they will be very visible here out on Swanston Street ahead of that meeting at 5:30 tonight. Eliza?
Mimi, thank you. The state government is demanding John Pesutto disclose details of who is helping fund his defamation battle against expelled Liberal MP Moira Deeming. Heidi Murphy joins me live in the studio. Heidi, it got quite fiery today.
It did, Eliza, on a couple of fronts, on power and on this particular issue around John Pesutto and these legal fees, after revelations over the weekend that 3 former Liberal premiers are helping to fund it, along with a number of other individuals making donations to this fighting fund for Mr Pesutto's legal battle with Moira Deeming. Now, the Labor government is trying to make a point out of this, raising a series of questions that they say John Pesutto needs to answer today. They're asking who he is soliciting for these donations, asking if he is or if his taxpayer-funded staff are spending their time soliciting for these donations. John Pesutto has called it a desperate act by the Health Minister, who was running these attack lines today, and says he has always planned to declare fully as he must.
Who is doing the soliciting of these donations? Who is campaigning to get this funding for him?
I am declaring all contributions to my legal defence. They will be filed in accordance with parliamentary procedures.
And the state government has also announced that it will launch an independent inquiry into those mass power outages last week.
Yeah, the power industry's response to it, how the distribution companies handled it, Eliza, is what the state government's announced today. The state opposition had planned to use this parliamentary week to push hard for a parliamentary inquiry into the goings-on, reacting to the power outages last week, how the power companies handled it. The government says it will instead get experts involved in a review into exactly what went wrong and how well resourced the distribution companies were. 3,000 or so homes and businesses remain without power as we go to air this afternoon. About 2,500 of those may remain off for the rest of this week up until Friday. But as the reconnections happen, the questions do continue to grow about how things did unfold in the aftermath of Tuesday.
Heidi, thanks for coming in.
We also, of course, have heard stories of text messages being sent to people with inconsistent information or with broken links. These are some of the questions that Victorians want the answers to.
When we'll get those answers remains to be seen. The expert panel hasn't been appointed just yet, Eliza, but we'll hopefully get some in the weeks ahead.
Wait and see what happens, Heidi. Thank you. One of the alleged ringleaders of Victoria's tobacco wars has been granted bail and picked up from prison in a Rolls-Royce. Amber Johnston has the details.
Majid Ali Bardi was allowed to walk free from the Melbourne assessment prison, accused of being a puppet for an exiled crime boss who's pulling the strings from the Middle East, ordering hits against Melbourne tobacconists. The 25-year-old was granted bail to undergo treatment for his drug addiction. Greeted by a fleet of luxury cars, he was whisked away in a Rolls-Royce with some choice words. Ali Bardi has been charged with more than a dozen offences, accused of being the right-hand man to Kazam Hamad, an exiled crime boss waging war against the Hadara family from his home in the Middle East as they fight over monopoly of the illegal tobacco trade. Ali Bardi is accused of a number of arson attacks, allegedly ordered to firebomb this Glenroy tobacco shop and a restaurant in Docklands. Police have accused him of being a valued lieutenant of the Hamad syndicate, describing him as the regional operations manager for the gang. Prosecutors strongly oppose bail, arguing if Ali Bardi is released, Hamad will have a loyal servant back at his fingertips. Still, he was allowed to walk free, agreeing to wear a GPS tracking watch until his next court appearance.
Australia's Navy fleet will be doubled in the coming decades. The ambitious overhaul is in response to growing threats in our region. Political editor Charles Croucher with the latest.
More ships at a quicker pace, but with a far greater price tag. That's the revelation from the federal government announcing a shake-up to our naval surface fleet that carries a $54 billion price tag in total. That's $11 billion more than originally planned. The overhaul includes 6 new missile-laden ships that can operate without a crew, 11 new medium-sized frigates, and a reduction of the planned Hunter-class anti-submarine frigates. They will drop from 9 to 6. The Defence Minister made the announcement and says it will be Australia's largest naval fleet since World War II.
Those ships, in combination with the 3 existing air warfare destroyers, will take our surface fleet of warships to 26. A significant increase in defence spending in this country. And it is needed, given the complexity of the strategic circumstances that our country faces.
This is the most consequential investment in the surface combatant force, the Royal Australian Navy, in generations.
One of the biggest challenges we find in the manpower to not only construct these ships but also to man them once they are in the water. The government says they have the positions in place to create those jobs. It will also create industry, up to 3,500 jobs in South Australia and Western Australia for decades to come.
ANZ has been given the all-clear to buy Suncorp Bank in what will be the biggest merger of its kind since the global financial crisis. Originally opposed by regulators, today's approval has been met with criticism. Finance editor Chris Kohler explains.
2 years and almost $5 billion in the making. Today, approval was given for ANZ to move ahead with its purchase of Suncorp's banking division. The deal was originally denied by the ACCC in August last year, with the watchdog saying customers would be left with less competition and a worse deal in the long run. But ANZ then took its case to the Australian Competition Tribunal in the Federal Court on appeal, and judges today overturned the decision and allowed the takeover. That news has been met with a positive reaction from the Queensland Government, with ANZ committing to keep Suncorp jobs in place in the state, but the Finance Sector Union and Bendigo and Adelaide Bank have expressed concerns, while the ACCC says it will reflect on today's decision. Treasurer Jim Chalmers will now consider the case and whether to give final approval.
North Melbourne star Taron Thomas may have played his last game, with the AFL preparing to impose an 18-week ban on the troubled Rugg. It follows an investigation after fresh allegations of domestic violence emerged last month. Thomas's teammates turned up to Arden Street this morning, preparing for the monster ban to be handed down.
Is Taron doing okay?
Yeah, all the boys are checking in on him. Sure he's dealing with his own ways, but yeah, we'll put our hands around him and support him.
The ban would be one of the biggest handed down in the AFL's history. Channel 9 is the new home of the Melbourne Cup. The network striking a deal to air the Spring Racing Carnival starting this year. Tony Jones has the details.
A Tuesday in February is an unlikely time to be talking about the first Tuesday of November, but that has certainly been the buzz around racing circles today with the announcement that the Nine Network is now the official broadcaster of the iconic Melbourne Cup Carnival. And that announcement was made by the Victoria Racing Club chairman this morning in Neil Wilson. It's a terrific partnership, isn't it? You must be wrapped.
Oh, it's an exciting day, Tony. We're thrilled that we've got a relationship now with the Nine Network, and to this year's Melbourne Cup Carnival will be on Nine for the very first time, the 4 days of the carnival. So we're very excited and thrilled with the announcement today.
Where do you see the partnership going? Like, what is Nine going to bring, and what are you going to bring to Nine?
Well, Nine obviously is the home of major events. If you look at the calendar that they have around the Australian Open, and then looking to the State of Origin, then this year, of course, the Olympics, and we all slot in soon after that in November. So it's a great place to be in that calendar, and we're really looking forward to be part of the Wide World of Sports program. That's a big part of the decision, and we'll be covering the 4 days exclusively on Nine from a free-to-air broadcast point of view and all of the digital platforms, and we're really looking forward to doing some things very special this year.
There's no doubt that the horses are the star of the show, but they do share billing, don't they?
Well, of course, it's world-class racing across the 4 days. We have people around Australia and around the world watching the racing. It's a fabulous week of racing and lots of prize money on offer and everything that goes with the importance of racing. But surrounding that, Tony, is a big event, one of the biggest events. In fact, Australia's first major event, and we're just thrilled that we're going to get the coverage of that event, whether it be the birdcage activity, the celebrities, what's going on with our entertainment program, which gets bigger and bigger each year, and of course our whole fashion program, which is known around the world as one of the biggest sporting fashion events in the world. So you can expect the coverage of that to be at an all-time high as we now work with Nine, who has so much scope to bring that to life in very different ways, and we're just really excited about the opportunity that it brings.
All right, thanks, Neil. Bring it on.
Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate it.
So the VRC now very much part of the Nine stable, and the association begins as early as this November, the first of 6 Melbourne Cup carnivals right here on the Nine Network.
Coming up next in Nine's afternoon news, the search for 3 men accused of kicking a penguin along tram tracks. And we meet the dancing security guard who shakes it off on the job.
I feel like my wife's first impression is going to be like, I got lucky here.
Australia, meet Mr. Confident.
I'd say I was kind, caring and gorgeous, but that's just scratching the surface.
Shaking up the final wedding.
He comes across as a little bit immature. She has a daughter. She doesn't want 2 kids.
And the honeymoon surprise.
What? They're actually talking to you now?
They want to communicate.
That will stop you dead.
Hold on a sec. My guide, your guide, spirit here. I love you beyond. I love you beyond. Blessings on you. Blessings on you, if that makes sense.
I don't know what is going on.
Tonight, 7:30 on 9. Then tomorrow,
there's things you can't say.
A storm erupts.
You can never be sure of what's on the road ahead. But if you finance with Nissan Future Value, you can be sure today what your vehicle will be worth at the end of the finance period, when you can keep it, give it back, or upgrade to a new one. And if you finance with Nissan Future Value, you can get select X-Trail models at a great 3.9% comparison rate. Plus, receive your first 3 services for free. Search Nissan or see your Nissan dealer today.
When there are issues with your bathroom grout and you need someone to sort it out. Stop leaking showers and balconies without removing tiles. Visit megasealed.com.au.
Josh is back at school, but poverty means he's missing out on excursions, essentials, and the extra support to flourish. A little help can make a big difference. Sponsor a child today. Search the Smith family.
Turn Tuesday into Taco Tuesday. Old El Paso, make some noise.
Here comes life. Prepare for it with Bupa, CanStar's outstanding value health insurance for 2023. Bupa, because life happens.
Experience 2-for-1 Hawaii, Tahiti and South Pacific cruise for 23 days from $8,499 for 2 people, including a one-way flight. Sail the Pacific today. Head to tripadil.com.au.
3P Solar is extending last year's prices for a limited time. 3P's 6.6 kilowatt premium system is still only $46.91, potentially only $18.91 out of pocket after Vic government rebate and loan.
Call 1300 37 36 37.
At Amplifon, we believe in personalisation.
Hi, Gary.
If I'm watching TV, I'll miss my phone or the doorbell ring.
I can set you up so you can receive calls right into your hearing aid. You can even connect them to a TV and doorbell with Bluetooth.
Now I've heard everything. I'll get it.
Now I've heard everything. Tell us about your lifestyle and we'll customise a solution just for you. Book and attend an appointment before 29 February and enjoy our exclusive promotions in clinic.
Three young men are wanted over an attack on a penguin in St Kilda. The trio were allegedly seen kicking the stranded penguin at a tram stop at 11:30 p.m. on Friday, December 8. A witness intervened and relocated the animal to the beach. Maximum penalties for interfering with wildlife include fines of more than $48,000 or 12 months jail. We all know the cost of living is biting, and new research shows 1 in 4 Victorians are doing it tougher than ever before and struggling to pay for the essentials. The figures come from charity Good 360, and we're joined now by founder and managing director Alison Covington. Alison, welcome. There are some really concerning figures here. Talk us through them.
Yeah, so 1 in 4 Victorians are doing it really tough. It's tougher than they've ever had it in any other year before. So Good 360 helps with this by providing brand new goods, so clothing, toys and toiletries. And we want to be able to help with this crisis and find a way to distribute these goods to these Victorians who are doing it really tough.
And that pressure on Victorians means more are seeking help from charities. What sort of people are you seeing and what does that look like for you?
So we've had a record increase in charities who are seeking our support. So 400% more charities are coming to Good 360. And the type of people who come to these charities could be families, they can be single people, or they could be the elderly. So all types of Victorians are coming and asking for support in record numbers. And these are the Australians who provided support when there was disasters, but they're now asking support from charities and they've never asked for support before.
Okay, and another crisis unfolding at the same time means an enormous amount of unsold goods are going to landfill. What details do you have about that?
So we commissioned a report with Deloitte Access Economics only 18 months ago to see how many goods go to waste here in Australia. And it's a staggering amount. It's $2.5 billion worth of goods go to waste every year, which is staggering when we have all of these Australians who need access to these goods. And these are the same goods. So the toiletries, clothes, furniture, household goods. But we want to find a way to stop these being idle, sitting in warehouses and also going to landfill. And so the whole point of this is to get these idle goods to the Australians who need them most.
So it is obviously a complex problem. What can be done to tackle the issue, do you think?
So it really is collaboration. So, you know, governments and people are used to food being in excess and being matched to people who are in need. Now what we need to do is work with retailers, work with the government and the charity sector to make sure these idle goods, these goods that are wasted, end up in the hands of people who need them most. And during this cost of living crisis, we've never seen more Australians, more Victorians who need our help. So we all have to collaborate to solve this problem and get them into the hands of the people who need them most.
Alison Covington, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Israel is threatening to invade Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah by the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, which begins on the 10th of March. It marks the first time Israel's leaders have publicly discussed a timeline for a ground offensive. An MCG security guard has sent the internet wild after a video of her singing and dancing at the Taylor Swift concert attracted more than 6 million views online, and Clint Stanaway met her.
Well, the name Taylor Swift here in Melbourne has really been on everybody's lips, but I want to introduce you now to a lady who has set the internet alight because of her dancing and the job she was doing at the Taylor Swift concerts at the MCG. Linda Britton joins us. Linda, thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure.
It's because of a video of you singing and dancing, having a great time at work. You're a security guard. Tell us about your job and the moment watching Taylor Swift live.
I was very lucky. So I've been employed at the MCG for 2 years as event worker. My job was to keep people in their seats to have a dance. And when the song comes on, the atmosphere, I just couldn't help myself. But pretty bad dancing, to be honest.
No, I think it's all right. This is you. I'm just going to show you this video here. Is this your favourite song?
Yeah, absolutely. My favourite song of Taylor's for sure.
The dance moves, what do you make of them?
No, terrible. Yep, very ordinary. It's actually slightly embarrassing. But look, so long everyone was having a good time. I didn't think anybody noticed me, but apparently they did. It's crazy because I'm actually, I'm an older person. I'm not really on all the social media. And so to see that and wake up and see the numbers going through the roof, couldn't believe it. It was amazing.
What's the reaction been like? Do people sort of stop you and say, oh, you're that lady from the MCG?
Yeah, I was at one of my other jobs this morning and people are walking going, oh, Insta famous, like look at you, go TikTok, you dancer. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun and it's great because I may as well make the most of it now. It'll never happen again.
And what is it about Taylor Swift that you love and you loved seeing in person a few nights back?
The atmosphere was unbelievable. I mean, the people dancing, I've never been at a concert where everybody stood for the whole time and watching the young girls crying, watching some of the mothers crying. But, I mean, the atmosphere was just out of this world. It was amazing that 96,000 people every night just having a ball.
And you do it all. You work at the Australian Open, at the Grand Prix as well, various roles. You've met some of your favourite stars.
Yeah, I've been very lucky over the years, but I just love event work and I love Melbourne and I love just sharing it with everybody, whether they're from interstate, overseas, locals. I just love events. It's amazing here.
And you do it with a smile, and I like your dancing, just for the record.
Well, thank you very much. I think you're the only one. But anyway, I might have to practice for next time. There won't be a next time, I promise.
Well, that's all from Melbourne in terms of Taylor Swift and Linda Britton for that matter. But of course, Taylor Swift is heading to Sydney in the next few days. But clearly, Taylor and Linda have caused a bit of a storm here in Melbourne.
Time now for a check on the weather with Livinia. And the temperature has taken quite a jump today, Livinia.
It certainly has, Eliza. The city has been 7 degrees warmer than yesterday. Under northerly breezes and summer sunshine, it peaked at 29 degrees. Most locations through southern parts of the state have been around 5 degrees warmer than yesterday. Orbost has taken a 9-degree jump to 30, and areas through the north of the state have had another day in the low to mid-30s. For Sydney, it's been another stormy day with widespread rainfall totals of 25 to 50 millimetres across the city. And in the top end, ex-tropical cyclone Lincoln continues to deliver daily totals of more than 100. And while that system is keeping things cool in northern parts of WA, extreme heat is still impacting areas further south. Perth has just had 2 days in the 40s and it peaked at 38 before 11 this morning. And while its average February maximum is 31.6, this month it's averaging an incredible 36.6. Most of Victoria is heading into the 30s tomorrow, and I'll let you know what we can expect here in Melbourne later in the bulletin, Eliza.
Thanks, Livinia. We'll see you soon. When we return, the total artificial heart using the same technology that drives Japan's high-speed trains. Meet a quintet of rare antelope calves born at Werribee Zoo. And the Cats veteran primed for an early start. That's next in sport with Clint Stanaway.
As Mr. Smarty Pants just entered the firing line.
I am going to make you pay.
That's me. Tipping point tonight on 9.
How much to change a light bulb?
I think Mum and Dad were sitting ducks.
The couple charged almost $2,000.
I was ripped off.
It's a kitchen ceiling light. That's all that was fixed.
The cruel Sparky Sting.
They should be rather ashamed.
Daylight robbery over a new light bulb. A current affair tonight.
Discover a beautiful world of flowers and outdoor fun at the spectacular Blue Lotus Water Garden. Escape to a wonderland of lakes, magical lotus flowers and amazing tropical blooms.
See the giants of the Amazon.
The biggest water lily species in the world. Come and experience the wonders of nature and so much more. It's a great day out for everyone. Blue Lotus, Yarra Valley. Paradise on your doorstep.
Who designs the back seats of
with more power than my pinky, I'll find you a leprechaun.
Ute Brute 66. You said, find me a ute with more power than my pinky and I'll find you a leprechaun.
Nah, that was me.
So?
I owe you a leprechaun.
Moving home? Make your next move a good move. Done. With Energy Australia, you can move your energy online in minutes and get power on the day you move. Book your move online today.
At E&S, we believe that great design is essential to the function of any home. And there's never been a better time to bring beautifully crafted bathware into your home. Designed with the perfect blend of style, innovation, and quality. And right now you can save up to a massive 20% across our bathroom range. Our consultants are bathroom experts and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 9 showrooms today or shop online and get the E&S feeling.
If you've been in a road accident, you should seek legal advice. Arnold Thomas and Becker can advise on all your compensation entitlements, which could be in the hundreds of thousands. Talk directly to an Arnold Thomas and Becker lawyer today.
Worried about your performance? Then man up with the new and improved Burger Male Plus. The new formula includes black maca root, a superfood for men. Burger Male Plus is loaded with the world's best ingredients that support healthy blood circulation, libido, sexual function and cardiovascular system health. Feel great again by taking Burger Male Plus daily. Buy Burger Male Plus at burgermet.com.au. Call 1300 977 889 or selected health shops and pharmacies.
No one does 2-for-1 travel deals like Trip-a-Deal. Book a bucket list trip today and get 2 people for one incredible price. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
At Aware Super, we love to perform. No, not like that. We offer strong long-term returns performance, like 8.5% per annum over 10 years. With super advice and super returns, Aware Super is super helpful.
This sports report brought to you by Kinogo. You're only 3 minutes away from a whopping $40 million jackpot. Download the Kinogo app and start playing today.
Welcome back to Nine's Afternoon News. Sport time now, and after an injury-interrupted pre-season, Premiership winning Magpie Josh Dacos is set to take flight. Braden Ingram has the latest live from our newsroom. Braden, he'll front up against the Roos tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, Clint, at Olympic Park in a practice match. The first real hit out for the Pies. Certainly for Dacos, he'll be pleased to get back out there, given he sat out there intra-club last week. Of course, he's been dealing with a bit of a calf issue throughout the pre-season, so he'll certainly look to get going. Another man who'll be getting going will be Lockie Schultz, the forward who's been recruited from Freo. Certainly exciting to see him in action. We do expect the Pies to rest a number of their senior players and get some time into their younger squad. Now, when it comes to senior players, Jack Crisp is one of those players who may or may not play in that match tomorrow. This morning, he was out at Caulfield ahead of the Blue Diamond Stakes at the weekend. He is an MRC ambassador. We'll even see a full-size basketball court and some NBA legends trackside on the weekend. But for Crisp, he's excited to just see how the Pies can go about securing back-to-back premierships.
We're keen to just get better every day. Guys are really tipping in to get their spot in the senior 22, and with a pretty healthy list at the moment, blokes are really finding that competitive edge and trying to get themselves better to get.
Meanwhile, over at Waverley Park, it really is a defence disaster for the Hawks. They've now learned that Denver Granger-Barras, he'll miss up to 3 months of football due to suffering turf toe last week. Of course, they've already lost James Blake and CJ down back. So, Clint, that's a really big blow for them, and Sam Mitchell's going to have to move some magnets around to get them working in defence.
Sounds like it. Thanks to Braden Ingram there live with the latest. We get our first look at the Cats and Blues this Thursday as they do battle at Princes Park. And for Geelong veteran Mitch Duncan, there's a lot to look forward to. He spoke with Trent Neese.
Well, after missing finals for the first time since 2015, a number of Cats have reported back to base, fit and healthy. One of those Cats is Mitch Duncan, and he joins us now. Mitch, it's been a bit of a good off-season for you, I guess, heading to Colorado.
Everything's kind of gone a lot smoother than it has in the past. So, yeah, the pre-season's been great so far, and looking forward to kind of finishing that aspect now and getting into games. And we play Carlton this Thursday at Icon Park, so looking forward to playing against an opposition.
Yep. Fit and firing and ready for round one, would you say? It'd be the first time since 2020 that you actually line up in round one.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. There's still obviously a month to go, but things have progressed. Well, have gone really positively throughout the pre-season and the off-season, and there's still a month to round one, so a lot can happen, but touch wood that everything keeps going in a positive way.
And last question, 300 games do we see you play this year, or is it next year?
I think I'm on 274, so 26 games in 1 year. I think it's possible. Whether we get there this year or not, is a different question, but hopefully, one day we can get there.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get our first look at Mitch and the Cats this season on Thursday when they take on Carlton at Princes Park.
Trent Neese reporting there in Geelong. It didn't take long for Melbourne United captain Chris Goulding to move on from the disappointment of missing out on the NBL MVP award last night. Beaten by Wildcats veteran Bryce Cotton, the skipper's focus has now shifted to claiming a fourth championship.
Individual awards are nice and cherry on top or whatever it may be, but there's one real reason why we're here, and that is to win a championship.
And in a real coup for the league, NBA legend Scottie Pippen was on deck this morning to help launch the final series, which, by the way, gets underway next week. The Matildas are back in camp now ahead of two must-win Olympic qualifiers. They play Uzbekistan on Saturday and do so without Sam Kerr and Courtney Vine. But the Aussies are pretty confident they have the depth to get the job done.
We saw at the World Cup that we do have a number of different options that we can use, and then we got a few new players coming in as well. Well, new and old players coming in.
The second leg of that tie will be played at Marvel Stadium, and overnight in the EPL, Everton has snapped an 8-game losing streak, drawing 1-1 with Crystal Palace.
Johnston comes, doesn't get there. A towering header from Amadou Onana.
That dramatic 84th minute header helping the Toffees salvage a point and move out of the relegation zone. That's sport.
Clint, thanks so much. A team of Melbourne researchers is developing an implantable artificial heart, offering long-term hope to heart failure patients for the first time. Medical reporter Emily Rice explains.
Melbourne researchers are on the cusp of commercialising the world's first long-term artificial heart to help those suffering chronic heart failure disease. What looks like a little car part is in fact an artificial heart which uses levitation technology to pump blood around the body, the same magnetic force driving Japan's high-speed trains.
A device that will change the lives of so many Australians and their families.
The device is being built for implantation in end-stage heart failure patients, including those on the transplant list, such as 48-year-old Peter. Born with a congenital defect, Peter's heart is now failing and he's awaiting a donor organ.
Only 100 or so Australians are lucky enough to receive a transplant each year, so this would be something extremely exciting for those of us who are waiting for heart transplants.
Existing cardiac devices use balloon-like technology and wear out quickly. But this device will be able to react in real time, speeding up or slowing down, just like a healthy heart.
All of the testing so far has demonstrated tremendous results.
It's taken 20 years to reach this point, and the original prototypes were tested on parts from Bunnings.
Pipes from Bunnings, literally built on the floor of Bunnings, some of them.
The project is being led by the new Monash University and Alfred Health's Artificial Heart Frontiers program.
All of the testing so far has demonstrated tremendous results.
In-human clinical trials of this artificial heart technology will start here at Alfred Health in Melbourne and at St Vincent's Hospital in Sydney soon.
They're finding their feet and getting used to the world. Werribee Zoo is celebrating the arrival of 5 scimitar-horned oryx calves. They're a rare species of antelope once on the brink of extinction. Luckily for the mums, the 5 calves were born with barely visible horns. They'll then grow into big and sharp horns for protecting themselves from predators and for courtship. Coming up, 2 homes invaded as residents slept in Bayside, Melbourne. And school students risking their lives by ignoring level crossing warnings. How Metro Trains is trying to get their safety message through.
When it comes to pets, no one loves them quite like Aussies.
Aussies spend a whopping $33 billion on their pets every year.
Tonight, we dig up all the facts on our furry friends.
Which pet can poo up to 300 times a day?
It's got to be a rabbit.
Worst Pez dispenser ever.
The 100, tonight after Married on 9 and 9 Now.
We love our holiday house and the extra income we get by sharing it as a holiday rental.
Terry Shear provides cover for theft, damage by tenants and loss of rental income.
Terry Shear Holiday Rental Landlord Insurance.
We wouldn't rent our property without it.
Holiday rental insurance for just $1.50 or less per day. Get a quote, call Terry Shear or go online.
At Aussie Broadband, we reckon there's more to the Aussie way than just this.
Like keeping your entire family better connected with Australia's most trusted telco. Even this little champion. Switch to fast internet now. That's Aussie Broadband. That's the actual Aussie way.
Worried about your performance? Then man up with the new and improved Burger Male Plus. The new formula includes black maca root, a superfood for men. Burger Male Plus is loaded with the world's best ingredients that support healthy blood circulation, libido, sexual function and cardiovascular system health. Feel great again by taking Burger Male Plus daily. Buy Burger Male Plus at burgermet.com.au. Call 1300 977 889 or selected health shops and pharmacies.
The spirited traveller chooses sea over sky, while those who fly sit confined and restless, those who sail stretch out in freedom. Choose the open air with Spirit of Tasmania. Be a spirited traveller.
When you apply for a loan, lenders look at your credit score and report. And right now, our partner, Now Finance, has no fees, great rates. That's clear, that's ClearScore. Sign up for free today.
This year's Victorian Caravan and Camping Super Show has more than ever.
An adventure zone, the RV Master Stage, a kids zone and the off-grid campground of the future.
Let's get going.
Melbourne Showgrounds, February 21 to 25. Tickets online. Start here, go anywhere.
Who designs the back seats of
with more power than my pinky, I'll find you a leprechaun.
Ute Route 66. You said find me a ute with more power than my pinky and I'll find you a leprechaun.
Nah, that was me.
So?
I got you a leprechaun.
4 luxury cars and 2 handbags have been stolen after a gang of youths broke into several homes across Melbourne's Bayside suburbs. The masked offenders targeted a home in Hampton around 4:30 this morning while a family slept inside. Police are investigating if the group is responsible for another aggravated burglary in Sandringham an hour earlier. The City of Melbourne will vote on a motion calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Police say they will have a visible presence outside Town Hall in case of any protest activity tonight. Independent councillor Jamal Hakim proposed the motion, which will be debated in a meeting in just over an hour. It follows other city councils passing motions in Sydney and Hobart. The state government is dismissing calls to reform stamp duty tax, despite it costing $5 billion in lost economic spending each year.
We've got no plans to reform stamp duty. What we are doing, we're doing a lot to help the first home buyers in terms of various first homeowner grants.
If the government was fair dinkum about housing availability, they wouldn't just say a flat-out no to considering changes to stamp duty.
New Grattan Institute data shows Victoria's budget relies on stamp duty revenue 50% more than 20 years ago. Victorian homebuyers pay the highest stamp duty in Australia. The bodies of 3 people, including a child, have been found at separate locations in Sydney. Police located a man deceased at a home in Balcombe Hills this morning, while the bodies of a woman and child were discovered in North Parramatta. A third crime scene has also been established at a Taekwondo academy. The wife of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny has accused Vladimir Putin of ordering the poisoning of her husband as authorities stall on releasing his body. Europe correspondent Edward Godfrey reports.
It's been 3 days since Alexei Navalny died, and a family spokesperson has said they've been told his body won't be released for 14 days as it undergoes some sort of chemical examination. His mother has travelled to the morgue where it's believed his body is being kept, but she was turned away. There is widespread belief that the political opponent and outspoken critic of President Vladimir Putin was killed. Alexei Navalny's wife believes that too. She claims he was poisoned with Novichok and is accusing Russian authorities of waiting for traces of the nerve agent to disappear. Navalny survived a poisoning incident in 2020 before he was detained and sentenced to 19 years jail. His wife, Yulia Navalnaya, may be grieving, but she isn't giving up her fight, releasing a video vowing to continue her late husband's work.
I invite you to stand next to me, share not only grief and endless pain, which envelops us and does not let go. I ask you to share rage, anger, hatred for those who dared to kill our future.
A Kremlin spokesperson has said an investigation into Alexei Navalny's death is underway and has said the reaction from Western leaders to his death has been unacceptable.
There's been an alarming spike in the number of students risking their lives by ignoring warnings around Melbourne's rail network. I spoke with Paul O'Halloran from Metro Trains. Paul, what sort of safety incidents are we seeing at the moment?
Well, we're seeing a definite increase in the usage of mobile phones and noise-cancelling headphones, which is creating a distraction, if you like, for younger people on the train network who are using it, which can lead to all sorts of issues with level crossings, trips, slips and falls, and also issues when people are getting on and getting off trains.
And 52 near misses in a year in a 12-month period. What impact does that have on train drivers who are seeing these near misses?
It can be very traumatic for our train drivers. We have an ever-increasing amount of people in the corridor trespassing, and when it involves school-aged children, it's ever so much more traumatising.
Absolutely, and we're also seeing 1 in 10 young people potentially ignoring and crossing at an active level crossing. What does that actually mean?
Well, when the booms and the lights and the bells on a level crossing are active or activated, it means that there's a train approaching. It could mean 2 trains approaching, and often people only are aware of the 1 train approaching. A train takes about 300 metres to stop, which is a very long distance. Nothing like a tram or a bus or a car. It's imperative that when people are crossing the train tracks, that they're very, very, very aware of their environment.
And Metro Trains has some education teams going into schools at the moment. They're trying to get the safety message across to students?
Yes, we have our community education team. Last year they visited over 300 schools and community groups, and we reached about 10,000 children last year and were able to give a very focused message to them about safety around trains.
Fantastic, Paul. Thanks for your time this afternoon.
My pleasure.
Early Learning Centre staff in Queensland are giving up their own food to feed children at their services, while flashier centres have their own in-house chef. That's according to a new study highlighting nutritional deficiencies in the industry. Kate Lamb with the story.
Well, we know food fuels both physical and mental development, but are kids getting enough at early learning centres?
While some providers like Mother Duck have an in-house chef who works with a dietitian to prepare specialised menus for their kids to give them enough sustenance to last the day.
A huge aspect of eating healthily means that teachers are happy, children are happy, we're seeing children thrive.
Other children aren't getting enough nutritious meals, according to the Queensland Brain Institute, which studied 10 childcare centres in areas where there's a high risk of food insecurity. What they found is, regardless of whether the meals were provided by the centre or the parents, the quality and quantity wasn't meeting the Australian dietary standards.
There was not enough protein and not enough vegetables, probably an excess of fruit, which has a lot of sugar in it. But we were concerned. We also found that in some services there weren't enough kilojoules, so children were going hungry.
Some staff even sacrificing their own food so kids weren't starving.
What we also saw as one effect of that was that as the day progressed, we saw children less able to regulate their behaviour and higher levels of conflict.
The researchers say one solution could be adopting a program run in the United States which reimburses childcare centres for providing food to eligible kids.
Still ahead, why this month's interest rates decision was a close call and rates may be set to rise. And super employee George celebrates a massive McDonald's milestone. Wait until you hear how many Big Macs he's eaten.
Tonight in 9 News, a gang of masked thieves break in through a cat flap.
An accused arsonist rolls away from jail in style.
Alarming pictures of student commuters dicing with death.
Navalny's widow to continue his fight.
The Melbourne scientists are building an artificial heart.
And a new home for the Cup.
The vanishing of Sandrine.
Where is her body?
A gripping investigation. Wednesday after Married on 9.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but there's another big bank snapping at their heels. With 1.9 million customers, it's regularly voted one of Australia's most trusted brands. Welcome to Bendigo Bank, the better big bank.
Save with super product deals in the latest Super Cheap Auto catalogue, like 50% off selected engine oils and SCA Automotive and 4-wheel drive batteries 20% off. Make it super cheap auto.
These will come in handy this week. You'll thank me later.
Do future you a favour and stock up with fresh, ready-made meals delivered. Help yourself with YouFoods.
Moving home? Move with Energy Australia and get up to $100 in move-in credits off your first bill. That's right, $50 for electricity and $50 for gas. Now that's a good move. Join today at energyaustralia.com.au or call 139 192.
What started with a passenger list led me to discover the incredible story of my great-great-great Aunt Mary.
There could be more to your story too. Piece it together with Ancestry.
That didn't make sense. But this does. No Pong, all natural deodorant. Feel fresh all day.
Law. Pleasure is gold.
At Neuromol, we understand that strong pain can leave your world out of sync. Unless you have strong relief. You do the feeling of you again, we'll do the long-lasting, powerful pain relief. Neuromol, leave the pain to us.
Super Rugby Pacific is here. The only place to watch every match is on Stan Sport. Every match ad-free, live and on demand. Beautiful! Friday, a fierce Aussie rivalry. Rebels, Brumbies, exclusive to Stan Sport. Brilliant! Then, Super Saturday, a blockbuster battle. Reds, Waratahs, live on 9Gem and Stan Sport.
A robot dog has joined the Italian military's police bomb squad. This is the first time this technology has been used in Europe. The robot can climb stairs, open doors and retrieve objects, all operated from up to 150 metres away. Australia's most loyal McDonald's employee is about to celebrate his 50th work anniversary. George Caruana has eaten tens of thousands of Big Macs in his lifetime, but the free food isn't the reason he hasn't retired. It's the people. Nathan Curry met him.
I'm watching my height and head at the moment because not only has George worked at McDonald's for coming up 50 years now, he also has an impressive collection of McDonald's memorabilia in his basement. George, how long have you been putting all this together?
Since 1974.
That's incredible, and I see we've got the old original uniform here.
It still fits me at 69. I was only 19 when I got into it.
That's incredible. We're coming up 50 years at Macca's on Friday. What do you love working about there?
Customer service, that we do it for customers. Great managers working with me, great staff. What else I can get? And I get free food when I'm on my meal.
You must love the food too.
I do.
Big Macs, how many have we done?
Probably 38,000 so far.
What about fries?
Maybe 39.
All right, so Friday's the big milestone. How do we celebrate it?
Well, head office is coming to surprise me with something and just do what I do every day.
Oh, incredible. Well, George, before I let you go, just have you ever served anyone famous in your time, 50 years?
Betty Davis came for apple pie at 11 o'clock. We had to stay open just for her.
Fair enough. For Betty Davis, anything. George, it's really great to be in here, and we're going to show you more of George's collection and hear more about him in 9 News at 6.
Mortgage holders came very close to copping an interest rate hike last week. Minutes from this month's Reserve Bank meeting revealed the board seriously considered an increase, concerned the nation's economic outlook remains high. In the end, it left the cash rate on hold at 4.35%, but has not ruled out a rise in the future. A global search is underway for the new boss of Virgin Australia. After 4 years at the helm, CEO Jane Hrdlicka is stepping down, saying the time is now right. Ms Hrdlicka managed the airline through its toughest period, the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, Livinia returns now and we can expect an even hotter day tomorrow, Livinia.
That's right, Eliza. Most of Melbourne is heading into the 30s tomorrow, even hotter on Thursday in what is shaping up as another dangerous bushfire day. I'll have all the details next.
Coming up in 9 News, chilling images of thieves ransacking homes in Melbourne's southeast.
An accused arsonist cruises away from jail in a Rolls Royce.
Exclusive pictures of student commuters dicing with death.
Alexei Navalny's widow steps into his political footsteps.
The amazing artificial heart that acts just like the real thing.
He's loving it. George celebrates 50 years of working at Macca's.
And giddy up, a new home for the Melbourne Cup. 9 News, your news, is coming up tonight at 6.
With a single touch, germs are left behind to grow. Glen 20 24-hour protection helps prevent bacteria growth even after a single touch. Plus, kills viruses including COVID-19. Glen 20 for longer lasting protection.
It's the 2024 OMG sale. There's a $1,500 factory bonus on the MG ZST and $3,000 on the MG HS Plus EV. Get into your local MG dealership now. T&Cs apply.
Beware bargain insurance regret, Jeanette. Next time, go with Amy instead. Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does.
Some great memories, yeah, but there's been some battles.
How about that one?
This one. My wife put that there.
For hair regrowth treatments personalised to you, go to getmosh.com.au to see if you're eligible.
Watch out! When foot attacks, strike back the easy way. Dynamo Professional. Its deep clean technology removes tough stains deep in the fibre. For superior stain removal the first time, Dynamo Professional.
Here's to knowing your visa payments are secure all around the world. So go see it all, taste it all, and do it all. Or do nothing at all. Go wherever your heart beats. Travel with Visa.
The virus that causes shingles is sleeping, lying dormant in nearly all adults aged 50 and over. Think you're not at risk of shingles? It's time to wake up, because shingles could wake up in you. Speak to your healthcare professional about shingles and how you can help protect yourself today.
Experience 2-for-1 Hawaii, Tahiti and South Pacific cruise for 23 days from $8,499 for 2 people, including a one-way flight. Sail the Pacific today. Head to tripadil.com.au.
Allergies. I have heaps. Homework, ballet, doing the dishes.
Telfast gives fast, long-lasting relief from year-round allergies, so kids can do what they love. And the dishes.
This weather report brought to you by Telfast. Don't delay. Keep sneezing at bay. Nothing beats Telfast. Now available at Chemist Warehouse.
Good afternoon. It's been yet another glorious sunny day across Melbourne, and gentle northerly breezes push the city to 29 degrees, our warmest day in a week. Quite a few suburbs tipped over the 30-degree mark. Epping warmed up to 35, Tullamarine 34. Most locations through the south have been around 5 degrees warmer than yesterday, but daytime temperatures through the north have been similar to the past few days, generally the low to mid-30s. There are thunderstorms through the northeast. They've only delivered a few millimetres so far. And for the second day in a row, Sydney has been lashed by thunderstorms, and areas in the top end are collecting more than 100 millimetres each day from ex-tropical cyclone Lincoln. It's expected to move over water tomorrow with a 60% chance it could reform into a tropical cyclone by Saturday. For us, Thursday will be the hottest day of the week. There'll be gusty northerly winds ahead of a cool change, and thunderstorms are also possible, so there will be dangerous bushfire conditions. A severe fire danger rating has already been declared for the Wimmera, Southwest and Central districts. Tomorrow, Perth will get some relief from the intense heat, a top of 30 degrees on the way. Hot again in Adelaide, 35. A warm day for Hobart, 30 degrees. Possible storms for Canberra and Sydney, both heading for 27. And just a light shower or two for Brisbane as it warms up to 30. Most of Victoria is heading into the 30s, but there'll be scattered showers across the eastern half of the state and thunderstorms most likely over the eastern ranges. Temperatures across Melbourne will take another jump after a low of 19. The city's heading for 33. Then a very warm night. It's only expected to dip to 24 ahead of a windy top of 36 on Thursday, but we should get a cool change around 5 p.m, Eliza.
Livinia, thank you. And that is 9 News for this afternoon. We'll have more on the day's top stories in 9 News at 6. Thanks for joining us.
This machine is stuffed full of counters, each one worth